absolutely your freshman can get a scholarship or get looked at to play college soccer, right? But you have to play a different game. You got to play a different game in the sense that if she can't go to the camps that a lot of these players are going to, then you have to you have to show the coaches, right? You have to make it easy for the coaches to say yes, right? Because there's players who go to a tryout and they go, how come I didn't make it on the team? And the only answer is, it's like you gotta show your stuff. And if you don't show your stuff or make yourself stand out in the crowd, then it's actually not the coach's fault, right? Because it's either you're either one of the best players or like you have to show you're one of the best players. You can't just be the best player, but if they don't know, then how are they going to pick you, right? So the suggestion is have her do things on camera and on video, build a catalog of the ways that she is far superior than players her age, right? I'll tell you one thing, most D1, not even D1, most D3 soccer players can't juggle 10 times with their left foot, left thigh, head, right thigh, and right foot without dropping the ball, right? So, that's a great place to start. Does she spend 1 minute a day juggling, dribbling, or using a kick trainer? If so, get that on tape, right? And she doesn't necessarily have to post it per se. It could be a personal diary, a living diary. You could just unlist the video. But the whole point is that, when it's the right time. It's like you can't hit a target that you can't see. So, and if you're a freshman in college or if you're a freshman in high school, it's like it's hard to say where you want to go start playing soccer, right? Like I was a junior and I still didn't have that figured out. So for someone to ask her like, where do you want to go to school? It's like, well, what is she interested in? It's like if she likes fine arts or she likes theater, and now it's like, okay, now let's look at the best theater programs in the country. Then it's like, okay, now let's find the ones that have great soccer teams, right? So you kind of have to be a little thoughtful. It's like, do you want to go skiing in the off season? Like, do you want to go to school close to your family? Are you a homebody? Like, do you see yourself? Do you want to get away from your town? Do you want to go to big school? Do you want to go to small school? Do you want to go to somewhere warm? It's like the more that she can kind of triangulate, kind of list her preferences, or at least know what she doesn't like. She can say, okay, I don't want to go to big school, or I don't want to go to school where it's going to be cold the whole time. Okay, perfect. So you write that down, and you tell her, write down everything. Is she a math whiz? Does she like fencing? Right? Like there's kind of little tricks you can pull. Not only like if she's a great soccer player, but she's also like great at swimming or she's great at fencing. It's like just that little thing, just that little edge is gonna just make it that much easier for like the coach or if she's got great grades or she can play an instrument. It's like the deeper she is, the easier it is for her to get into some of these schools. But she doesn't have to be. She doesn't have to be. If soccer's all her life, you can still work with that, right? So the whole point is you got to elevate her training on camera and have her train with high level. Just have her train with high level coaches and get it on camera, right? If she's a good listener and you don't need to spend a lot of money to work with high level world-class instructors. In my lifetime, I've worked with Louis Simmons, who was a top 10 strength coach in the country. He died a couple years back, but I drove 16 hours, close to 16 hours. I drove from Rhode Island to New Jersey to Ohio just to train with him for 2 days. I've worked with William C.C. Chen. He's a Tai Chi instructor in New York City. I've done a class with Sridharma Mitra. He's a top-ranked yoga instructor in the world, right? So, or one top 10, right? So it's like, and that class costs $25, right? So if you see her doing, if I'm a college coach and I see whatever her name is, Tracy's doing, Tracy's working with William C.C. Chen in New York City. She's working with Sridharma Mitra, a top 10 yoga instructor. She's invested in, she puts her juggling videos online every day, right? It's like, you got to build this whole thing so that they can see her trajectory. It's like if she's consistent with her time and thoughtful with her time and her energy, then there should be no reason why you just can't plan for her to be successful. And of course there'll be bumps along the way, but injuries happen and life happens, but you just plan it out. You plan it out. It's like, okay, how many times can she juggle? Like, can she juggle to 100? It's like, can she juggle to 100 with a tennis ball? It's like, simple stuff, but it's you gotta be thoughtful with it, and you gotta write out a nice plan. So it's like the day that she can, like, she should read the book Underground Secrets to Faster Running. Felix Jones or Felix Johnson, and she was a freshman in high school, and with an hour, it's like with close to not even 3 hours time of total lifting time a week, or maybe it might be 4 hours. She was deadlifting close to 400 pounds, like 5 times her body weight, just because she had a simple plan. Roger Bannister, he broke the mile record with simple training. He just followed a plan. It's like, okay, how fast can you run, 1 lap? And then it's like, okay, so you give yourself 2 minutes recovery, and then you run that again, and you give another stuff 2, and then you run that again. And then with smart training, it's like over time, maybe you take 1 less second for recovery, and then boom, he beat the 5-minute mile. So like the day that she can juggle 10 times, this is my theory, the day that she can juggle 10 times with a tennis ball, with her right foot, right thigh, head, left thigh, left foot, without dropping the ball, and she can run a 6-minute mile, and her 40-yard dash is like something that's like, not world class, but like if she's running like the wind and she's got the endurance to beat a sub 6-minute mile, and she could juggle 10 times, going around the world, right thigh, right foot, right thigh, head, left thigh. I swear to God, like if you get that on tape, forget about it. Forget about it. And I want to follow it up with this that just came to mind. It's like if before the game she has a world-class warm-up and she has a world-class training routine and she's got a world-class cool-down, or just a high level, she's got a high-level warm-up, a high-level pre-game training routine. She's got a high-level cool-down. If she takes care of her body, that's a great path, and you got to get that on camera. It's like if she can get to practice 10 minutes early, 15 minutes early, and she can keep the ball up. There's this kid who would show up an hour to practice, an hour early to every practice, and there's a story about him playing against so he was an older player in our club, and someone says to him, they were talking not nice, and they go to him, they said, I bet you're like, I bet you didn't even get recruited. And he's like, no, I got recruited. And they go, where? And he goes, Harvard. Right? So it's like, just the little things add up. So getting to practice early and getting the ball up on a juggle is like something that's so simple, yet it's gonna friggin' shoot her to the moon. So, right, you maybe hit up, I would have her tell her check out _ty.fitness_ on Instagram. If I was her, I'd buy a dribble up ball, size 4 dribble up ball. I would have her invest in a kick trainer, an SKLZ solo kick trainer, so she could cram months of training into days or weeks. If I was her, I'd buy an RMT rope or make an RMT rope, and the one pattern she should learn is the alternating underhand sneak. She should have a tennis ball on her at all times so she could be juggling and playing perpetually. I'd invest in a 2.2 pound medicine ball on Amazon so that she can improve her power, her juggling precision and power, going back and forth between the tennis ball and the medicine ball. I would have her read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, and I would have her watch the video How to Breathe by Dr. Vranich, Vranich. I mean, she spends 1 minute a day doing any of those suggestions. She's already going to be. I mean, this is something I wish I knew 27 years ago. And they're college. I coached a college team and college soccer team, and none of the kids are doing this stuff either. So just have her spend some time doing all those suggestions, and she won't even recognize herself in a few weeks, let alone a year. So hopefully this helps. Reach out with any questions. Bye.